the EMS Affluent Survey in Africa has named Forbes Africa Magazine the most read monthly print magazine on the continent. And the managing editor of the magazine, Chris Bishop, is here with us. Chris, yet another award. Tell us what it is and how you did it.
Well, these are the moments that managing editors around the world lie in bed and dream about at night. I mean, we've been going for less than 3 years. Our first anniversary is only in October. And already there's evidence here from this quite weighty research group that we've actually hit more of the people the customers were chasing than our competitors who have been around for years.
You mustn't be so modest.
Well, no, a lot of hard work.
Yeah,
and as I always say, it's our young team of hard-working journalists here in Africa who make it what it is, who get out there, getting the stories even as we speak this morning. They're out there chasing the Ebola story, which you'll hear more about today. But I was saying, you know, it's a tribute to their hard work, it's a tribute to their integrity, it's a tribute to the amount of effort and elbow grease that's been put into this magazine over the last 3 years. And when we started 3 years ago, everyone said, oh no, you're mad, magazines are finished, you're not going to get anywhere, you know, everyone's online now. And yet, here we are. This is the proof of the pudding. A survey that says 156,000 people, the top people in the continent, of which they reckon in total is about 3.4 million rich people in the continent, are reading our magazine every month. And to me, that's a source of tremendous pride.
Before I go on to the next one, remember that it's the team of the young people that are driving this. Just saying.
Well, there's a case in point. I mean, how different markets are different things. I mean, in America, it's very much a 50, 60-year-old magazine. In Africa, the research we're getting is 30, 40-year-old, young, affluent, aspiring,
so is this
up and coming.
Is this how you're getting it right, Chris? Is that because you're also targeting the younger readers? Is this how you're doing it?
Well, you look at the stories we do. We do a lot of obviously we do the old stagers, the people of substance, the people who've built a fortune, who've been working for 20, 30 years. That's the one end. But on the other hand, if you see, we do people like Ludwig Marishani, the guy who invented the hand wash. Yes. We do a lot of the young, aspiring entrepreneurs at the other end of the scale who are wanting to be on the cover. In fact, actually, well, I won't give the name away, but the next issue, we've got a lovely headline that says, meet our cover for 2019. This guy up in Zambia said he's going to be on the cover 2019, and there's nothing we can do about it. So we're looking at him and where he is, how far he's come. I think he's only about $9 or $10 million. He's got quite a way to go.
I thought you were going to say he's only 9 or 10 years old.
No, not at all. But,
in which case, he's early starter. The hand wash, inventing the hand wash, I thought people had been hand washing before.
Well, no, it's a dry bath hand wash. I mean, this young gentleman called Ludwig Marishani was sitting around at home in Limpopo, and someone had been summoned to wash their hands. And this person had to go walk quite a distance to go and wash his hands at the tap. And he thought to himself, wouldn't it be great if you could sort of wash your hands without moving when you're on the move? So he came up with this little wash, which is now it's very sanitized stuff. It's starting to get some sort of traction around the world. Just one simple idea in the middle of a field in Limpopo in South Africa, and it's making the guy a fortune.
So Chris, you've done it again. What now? What's next for Forbes? How are you going to take things to the next level? Because you constantly need to be innovative and staying ahead of the game. I mean,
well, a number of things. I mean, firstly, remember we're bedding down 3 magazines here. We've got Forbes Women, which is on the up. I believe we've got Forbes Life, which is a quarterly lifestyle magazine. We've got a lot of hard work, I think, to bed those down in the market. But what I think we are doing at the moment with Forbes Africa, we're deepening our stories. We're doing more investigations. We're going beneath the surface in stories. We're covering some of the nastier issues, conflict. We're covering some of the terrible terror that's been prevalent, particularly in East Africa. We're covering a lot of the other side of the story because, I mean, everyone thinks about Forbes and success, but we want to be balanced as journalists. We want to tell the other side of the story. We want to tell where things aren't so great in the continent, get people to discuss it. And our young journalists born and bred here in Africa are out there doing those stories as we speak.
How many magazines are in this field, doing the whole continent and doing what you're doing? You're talking about success, you're talking about entrepreneurship, the old Dangotes of the world and the Ruperts and the Ackermans, but also the young entrepreneurs. And the scandals and the difficulties that businesses face. So, I mean, you're doing a big package here. There can't be too many people doing it.
But this is the reason why 3 years ago, when everyone said we were mad, I had some sort of epiphany and I thought, wait a minute, nobody is actually doing the entrepreneur story from across the continent. No one, there are little entrepreneur magazines up and down the continent. continent. There are sort of magazines that kind of do that sort of thing. But nobody is saying to somebody, yeah, here's somebody in Lagos, you can learn something from them. Here's somebody in Nairobi, you can learn, here's somebody in Lusaka, across the continent. No one's actually saying that. And I think that's the strength of it, in the fact that when people read it, they just read Africa's entrepreneurs and that's it. No one is that bothered really about where people come from, but they're fascinated with the stories. And I think what we tried to do is go deeper into those stories, how people did it, how they came up with their wealth, how they beat the odds. And I think people love those stories. I think that those are stories that you can tell to the end of time and people will listen.
It's not just the Africa growth story, it's the African growth stories.
Yes.
Thanks to Managing Editor of Forbes Africa Magazine, Chris Bishop.